Alright, on today's video, we are back at the range, and today we are out here to do the review on the Vector Optics Constantine 1-10X24 LPVO. Now, Vector Optics did send this out to the channel. I've done some work with Vector in the past. Now, I'm not going to get into a lot of specs on this optic in this video today because we did do a full unboxing video on this, and we went over everything in the box, all the specs on this optic, and I will link that in the description below. Basically, what I want to do today is just shoot a bunch of rounds through it, see what I think of this optic, and talk about it as the day goes on. I will tell you that it is second focal plane. I'm a big second focal plane guy when it comes to LPVOs. I don't really care for first focal plane on LPVOs that are 1-6, 1-8, 1-10. I do like first focal plane on scopes that I'm shooting longer distance with, but I do a lot of close range stuff with these LPVOs, and I just prefer to have second focal plane. USPSA targets set up. We're just going to fire 2 shots into the A zone, transition back and forth. We're also using the 14 round Black Dog machine magazines for the first time. I've got those loaded up with some CCI Maxi Mags. Here we go. Alright, ran all 14 rounds. Mags are working great. Let's get out and check our targets. All right, target on the right, we had all alphas. Our next target, we had 3 alphas. Nice tight little group right there, but we threw a Charlie over here. Our next target, we had all alphas, and our target on the left, 2 alpha. All right, this time we got 14 rounds of our Winchester Super X 40 grainers loaded up. Let's just see if this BCA 22 mag upper can run on the cheaper ammo. Here we go. All right, ran them all. Likes the cheap stuff too. Let's get out and check the target. All right, target on the right, nice little group, 4 alpha. All right, next target, we had 2 almost in the same hole, 4 alpha. Next target, 4 alpha, nice little tight group again. And our target on the left, 2 alpha. I'm liking it. All right, my first impressions of the Constantine 1-10. I really like this turned down to 1 power and shooting at these targets at closer range. It's just like using a 1X prism, and so far, I'm really liking the optic. Okay, let's talk about the lighted reticle on this. Now, I don't need it today, and I probably wouldn't use it today, but the last group we shot, I wanted to turn it on and see how bright it was. Now, I just went ahead and turned it right to 11, and it's not that bright. You can see the red on the brown USPSA targets today. It's not daylight bright, but it is usable on a day like today if you want to turn it all the way up to like 11 or 10. Now, the other thing that I do like, when it's off, you can go to 1, or you can go right to 11. You don't have to go all the way around like you do on some optics. And the other thing that's really nice on this, you got a really nice positive stop in between each brightness setting. All right, we got 14 more rounds of our Winchester loaded up. Here we go. Ran them all. I did forget to mention too, we are locking back on our 14 round mags from Black Dog machine. All right, target on the right, 4 alpha. Our next target, we had 4 alpha. Next target, 4 alpha. And target on the left, 2 alpha. All right, let's run one more mag. Target on the right probably isn't going to be too good, but it did run them all, and it did lock back. All right, target on the right, we have 3 alpha, 1 Charlie. Next target, we had 4 alpha. And our next target, 4 alpha. And our target on the left, 2 alpha. All right, let's talk about the throw lever on this. I really like this. This thing is butter smooth. There's no grinding, there's no grittiness. This thing turns nice and easy, but it doesn't turn easy enough that it's gonna move on its own or it's gonna turn if you bump into it or anything like that. But it's just got a nice, smooth transition from your 1 power to your 10 power. It's actually one of the nicest ones I've tested on the channel. All right, I got a 50-yard zero on the Constantine. We're set up at 50 yards. Got a target down there with a camera rolling on it, and I just put a couple pasters on it. Gonna shoot a couple 5-shot groups with these CCI Maxi Mags. These are 40 grain varmint. Let's just see how well this groups at 50 yards. We'll go for the target on the left first. All right, I'm gonna zoom in on that a little bit. Doesn't look too bad. Looks like we need to go to the left just a little bit. I'll make that adjustment here. All right, let's move over to the target on the right. All right. Ran all 10 of those rounds, no issues. Locked back on the last round. And hopefully we got a couple good groups. Let's go down there and check them out. All right, here's our target on the left. We got 2 in the same hole, 2 in the same hole, and 1 right here. Really nice group. Now I made a little bit of an adjustment. Probably only needed to go 2 clicks left. But we basically put 3 all in the same hole. They're all touching right here. 1 right above it and 1 right in the bullseye. But we're talking about a 3/4 inch group right here at 50 yards. All right, I got the Constantine zeroed for 50 yards. I'm gonna leave a 50-yard zero on it. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna loosen this up and pop this cap off. And if we look on here, right there is our zero. And we've got our little mark right here on the back of the scope. So I am going to set this back on 0. There we go. We're going to put our cap back on and screw it down. And I'm going to do the same thing off camera with the windage. All right, now we're going to get into the make or break part of this review, and that's obviously the glass quality on the Vector Optics Constantine. So I've got my scope right now on the steel targets at 100 yards, and we're going to turn this all the way up to 10 power. Now, when it's on 10, I am getting just the slightest little bit of distortion, that fisheye effect, whatever you want to call it. And I pretty much get that on all these 1 to 10s when I turn them all the way up on 10 power. But we pretty much only review budget optics on this channel. Now, with that being said, if we turn it down to 9, now we've got a crystal clear picture all the way down there. The glass quality on these Vector Optics has always been really nice on the pistol dots that I've reviewed and shot that my friends have, and I'm really impressed with the glass on this Constantine, especially at the price point. Now I will also say at 100 yards, if I were to go down there and paint those pieces of steel, I would actually be able to see my hits on those steel plates down there at 100 yards. It's pretty damn good glass. All right, we're over on the rifle range. I've got 5 rounds of CCI Maxi Mag varmints loaded up, and I got a camera rolling down there on the steel at 100 yards. Now normally, with a 50-yard zero on my ARs, if we aimed for the center of the target, we'd be hitting a little high. So I went ahead and dialed this down 6 clicks We're just going to see where it hits with the 22 mag. Let's have some fun. It looks like we might have went low. I'll take another shot here. Nope, we're hitting. She's moving. All right, let's go to the one next to it. I believe we hit it. Oh yeah, nice. All right, let's talk about the reticle on this. And I really do like the reticle system on this, and I'll bring a picture of it up on the screen. I really like that dot with the circle around it. The other nice part is too, is when you illuminate that, only the dot and the circle turn red on it. The other thing that was really nice was when we were shooting the groups at 50 yards with some LPVOs, especially first focal plane, when I turn them all the way up at 50 yards, that dot is actually covering that whole entire orange center of that paster we were using on the USPSA target. With this, I still can see a lot of orange around that dot. So I really like this reticle that Vector is using in the Constantine. Nice. Actually heard that one hit. Might have went to the left on that one. Nice. All right, my final thoughts on the Vector Optics Constantine 1-10X24 LPVO. This is a really good, just kind of do-it-all optic. When we were shooting the USPSA targets at about 15 yards, turning that all the way down to 1 power and just basically using it like you would a prism, it worked great. No problem getting some really nice groups at 50 yards. That second group we shot, we were less than an inch on that. And we weren't having any issues hitting steel out here at 100 yards on the rifle range. So we've got an optic here that, let's say if this was on a regular AR and we were shooting 223, 5.56, on this range here, you would not have any issues getting hits at 200 yards on the steel down there or at 100. And it's just a really good all-around optic. The turrets on this, I really like the turrets. Now they are not exposed turrets, but like we showed you in the unboxing video, you do have the option to run an exposed turret cap on this. I do like how audible and tactile the clicks are. And back to that glass quality again, it's got really, really great glass on it, especially from that 1 to 9 mark. The 10 is 100% usable, but it does start to distort just a little bit once you're up on 10 power. All right, so let's talk about the cons, and I really only have one con, and we talked about it in the unboxing video. This LPVO did not come with this one-piece scope mount. This is actually a monster mount that I had laying around. It did come with 2 scope rings, which I think is kind of goofy for an LPVO, and 2, they just weren't tall enough. This LPVO is sitting really close to the top of the lower, and if this was a regular AR with your charging handle here, it would be pretty hard to use your charging handle with the scope rings that they supplied with this LPVO. I do like my LPVOs to sit a little higher. In fact, all the ARs that I have that have LPVOs on them, they're all sitting at this exact same height. This is just the way I prefer them. Now, other people obviously are going to be different, but for me, that was a con. Now, I think Vector should just offer a one-piece scope mount like this, especially at the price point you can get a lot of these scope mounts for now, especially like this monster one. They don't cost much at all. So I think in the future, Vector should just throw in a one-piece scope mount like this with all their LPVOs. All right, so at the end of the day, do I recommend the Vector Optics Constantine? Absolutely. This is a really nice optic. It's a little bit more than some of the other budget optics that I've reviewed on the channel, but not by much. So if you've been thinking about trying out a Vector Optics, whether it's one of the pistol dots I've reviewed on the channel or this LPVO, I would absolutely give it a try. I think you would really like it. I will have links on the website if you want to go check it out, and possibly some discount codes there for you. But I think anybody that picks up this LPVO is definitely going to be happy with it. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.